ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. And off we go from Denver. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And they'll begin here with a run by Brown. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down. Let him go by a little too easily there.
Well, that's what we saw in film, isn't it? His head goes down oftentimes when he goes to punch, when he's trying to block. And when you do that, you can't see your target. He went right past him and made the play.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. Just a gain of a couple there. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. In motion goes the tight end. That's caught. Andre Yoshivas. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
3rd and long always tilts to the defense. And I just remember as a player how many times it was hammered into my head. Know where the sticks are and get him down in front of it. But sometimes what happens is you worry about where that is much more than the person who has the ball. And on that play, they didn't have enough focus on him. And somehow he turned a short pass into a 1st down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
From midfield now, Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
They went to their big body tight end on 2nd down in hopes that he could plow his way to a 1st down. But they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
They'll run on 3rd down with Brown. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle 3rd of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line. He provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
So on 4th down, Ryan Rico on to punt for the Bengals. And Marvin Mims deep for Denver. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. On the run, this is J.K. Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Score that tackle for loss to the Wyoming alumnus, Logan Wilson.
Partner, one thing I was lousy at growing up, track and field. I could never anticipate the start before a race, but how about that backer? He figured it out, jumped the count, and turned it into a really nice play for his defense.
Off the play fake, here's Nix. And his throw here's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Nix. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
They'll send this away into the Rocky Mountain night, and it's a good one. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and a couple. And they go play action now. Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 27 yards there, a first down.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
They'll fake the jet sweep and go play action with Burrow. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Chalk that one up to bad acting, I guess, because they certainly failed to sell the handoff, and the pressure stayed keyed in on the quarterback. No Oscar awards for this offense, just a loss of yardage.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Burrow going to get this out to Chase. So the completion good for just 3. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Now right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. Connecting on the out route here with Higgins. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, minicamp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
McPherson's kick is good, and the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So after drive number 3 here, we have a score, and it's 3 points after the field goal.
I would say the feeling out process for both these teams, I'd say it's over, partner. Everyone understands what's going on now. You've kind of probed a little bit. Now you want to start throwing the big shots. First 3 points up on the board could be significant.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field. They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down. Defensively, they were in the 3-4, and that O-line just dominated the D-line there.
Let's go with a verbal telestrator here, because that D-line has a nose over the center, and it has the 2 defensive ends over the offensive tackles. That means the guards don't have anyone over the top of them. That creates a natural bubble inside where they sprint upfield, take on the inside linebackers, and if the back hits it fast enough, there should be space to run.
It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
My, if maybe that ball is 2 yards shorter, it's going to give them the lead because he had a receiver running free there. That's a tough one to miss on.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Here's Burrow. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. That's caught by the tight end, Drew Sample. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a 1st down on the play.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Now a short one to Gesicki. So he stopped for no gain. And it's 2nd down.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
Burrow now off the bootleg. Rush coming, and he's taken down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. Well, you don't have to be a student of X's and O's to know that right there, that just was the perfect play call defensively.
You're exactly right, because what they did really well, disguised their intentions. They never thought that the corner would come on the blitz, but when he did, that QB was exposed and brought
under pressure, and they got to him again. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this 1st quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Now a fair catch signaled for and made right about the 43-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. A short throw to Ingram. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2nd down and 6 now. Here comes Dobbins on the toss right. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football. Here comes 3rd down and 7. As they've got it as we resume action. Nix to the air. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Harvey. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
2nd down and a yard. Throwing Nix. A short throw to Ingram. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
The speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
To throw is Nix. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. They go back to the ground with Dobbins. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Working out of the gun is Nix. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Cortland Sutton. A 20-yard touchdown, and the Broncos have taken the lead. Will Lutz on for the point after. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Now it's Burrow. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. And that right there, his first incompletion of the game, pretty remarkable.
And so let's start talking about all-time records, because with that incompletion, maybe over a 2-game sequence, or maybe starts a new streak now, because Ryan Tannehill, over 2 games, hit 25 straight. Now, the incompletion, we're taking this record out of play, but Mark Brunell, when he's with Washington, 22 straight completions to start a game.
That one out wide and intercepted. Brandon Jones picking it off. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. On play action, here's Nix. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And he is going to be close to a first down as the tackle made at the Bengals 25. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Off the bootleg, here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. He's got room to roam, and he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Here's Nix. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Nix from the shotgun. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Back to the air with Nix. Steps away to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Bo Nix, a 3-yard touchdown run. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
This is a great decision right here. Out of the pocket to his left, and he knows if he waits too long, the defense is going to be all over him. So he makes a decision to go and wins the race to the pylon.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to 11. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Bengals drive about to get going.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They go right back to the ground here, and Brown to the 43, 2nd down.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
2nd down and 8.
They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line.
Now a 3rd and 6.
Burrow will throw.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
So on 4th down, out is Ryan Rico to punt.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
So from the 37, here's 2nd and 3. To throw, here's Nix.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Sutton.
And Sutton will have a Broncos 1st down as he'll get this up to the 45-yard line.
It's a gain of 8, and it'll wind up moving the chains. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He finds his man complete. That's Harvey. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
They run the toss with Dobbins.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
That's a nice job there, foiling what all offenses try to do, which is control the defensive end in the running game. They want to get to the outside, and if he keeps himself free, stays on his feet, he can make a play just as he did there.
Back to throw. Nix.
That is caught by Vele.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Now Burrow.
And he'll find Chase on the right side, complete.
So the completion gets him just a yard, and it's 2nd down. In motion, the tight end. Burrow looking to pass. Open man is Higgins. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal 1st down.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball, but I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a 1-score game if you can, and that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the 1st down.
This one complete to Yoshivas.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Second and a couple.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And incomplete here, so a little razzle-dazzle on that one, but they couldn't hook up, and it's 3rd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 7.
He'll look underneath and finds Brown.
And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the 1st as the tackle is made at the 33. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Here's Ryan Rico now,
as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10.
Now it's Nix.
Over the middle, it's complete. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Looking to throw. Nix.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Back to throw. Nix.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Broncos first down. They needed 5 there on third down. He winds up getting 7.
That's a big conversion there on third down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
They'll look to throw again. Over the middle, complete. It's Sutton. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Back to throw again. He finds his man, complete. It's Harvey. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Good call there on first down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years and not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Operating from the gun, here's Nix.
A short throw to Ingram. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
They got a completion there, but that's clearly an example of one side happy, the other side not very happy. Defense, very, hey, take 1 or 2 yards, we're good with that. Offense, you got to expect to get more on the passing play.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
Second and 10. They'll go play action with Nix. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies are trying to force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on third.
Nix to the air.
That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going.
And from here, might not be able to take a knee. Might need to run a play here that's close to their goal line.
And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Second half starts with a run by Dobbins.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now a handoff up the middle. Harvey.
And he'll get this to about the 34, a gain of just 3.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop them here on third down. Throwing Nix. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to fourth down.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Now it's second and 10.
In motion goes the tight end. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Now a short one to Gesicki. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else. And now it's third and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch. And most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now fourth down.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And they will take over first and 10.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you can tend to play the field position game.
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. That was huge after being behind the chains on first down to make this second very manageable.
Yeah, how much pride do you have in an offense on first down to get that kind of yardage? Because it actually opens up your playbook on second down. You can run it, you can throw it, you keep a defense off balance. I like that phrase, stand ahead of the chains, and they're doing exactly that.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
To throw is Nix. A short one to the tight end, Troutman.
And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
A give up the middle to Dobbins. And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again, Turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now down.
Won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam to the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, hello, my name is Mike.
Fights him off, and they'll bring him down 1 yard shy after a pickup of 4.
Always important as a defender on 3rd down to keep the play in front of you and make sure you don't give up enough space that they can make a move on you in the open field. Try as he might, he wasn't able to get to the 1st down marker. Excellent defense, good tackling.
They're going for it with Dobbins.
And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24. They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Finds his tight end Ingram. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Off the bootleg. Nix. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They'll get just a couple, but the sticks move again.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
The slot man in motion right.
He'll get it here on the jet sweep. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
He'll connect on the out route with Ingram.
And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down.
And that's a nice job of working his way open down in the red zone. Looked that one in and then made a beeline for the pylon. He didn't quite get there, and you want to give him a little extra for the effort, but instead he sets his guys up in excellent shape.
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown.
J.K. Dobbins
taking it in from a yard out as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions. I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
They'll give this up the middle to Brown. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner, because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
Now it's Burrow. He's got a man complete. Down to the 10 and all the way in for a Cincinnati score. T. Higgins, 81 yards. And the Bengals get a bit closer. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
Off the play fake, Nix.
Flush to his right, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
And that's his 2nd sack in this one.
And you just can't ask a defensive end or an edge rusher to play any better than what we're seeing right now. And, partner, it's still just the 3rd quarter. I'm thinking he's not done yet. Even if he's not getting a sack, he's bringing a lot of pressure to the pocket.
Here's Nix. That is caught.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Looking to throw.
Nix to the right side. He's got Vele.
And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And we come Page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Here's Burrow. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and that'll give them a short yardage situation here for 2nd down.
From the gun, a give to Brown. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line.
12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down. Now, yes, a two-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a two-possession game. They've got to get there twice.
Now Burrow loses the football. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it.
And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Nix, a short throw to Ingram. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
56 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
And this is exactly what you're looking to do offensively. If you can start stringing some runs together like this, you'll keep churning out first downs, and that's going to put you in a great position to carry this one home.
Back to throw now on first down.
He gets this underneath to Dobbins.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll make it second down.
To throw, here's Nix.
And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is third down. Operating from the gun, Nix.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the fourth, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes.
Touchdown!
Marvin Mims
from 4 yards out.
And the Broncos have put this one to bed here in the fourth quarter.
He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Burrow will throw.
Open man is Chase, complete.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now Burrow.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Working out of the gun is Nix. He'll get that complete to Vele.
And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the fourth quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Evan Ingram from 21 yards away.
And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bullying his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They're passing here, Joe Burrow.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Burrow.
Looking deep here for Chase.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
Jamar Chase.
72 yards.
And the Bengals are able to cut into that deficit. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the fourth quarter after that one, CD. And, well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, and I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
And able to get this out to the 25.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the fourth quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
Here's a give to Dobbins.
Another 6-yard carry, same as last play. First down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Right back to Dobbins on first.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. 77 yards on the ground here for Dobbins, and a first down coming up. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
From the 44-yard line, here's a 2nd down and 6. They'll go again with Dobbins.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Now it's Nix. And that'll be complete to Dobbins.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Give them 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Second and 1 from the 2.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Nix looking to throw again.
Flushed out right. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. It'll go in the books as a sack and a loss of a yard, but more importantly, it leads to 4th down.
Well, we saw him score on the ground earlier in the ball game. This time, the defense says not so fast.
Yeah, that's good scouting and good awareness, isn't it? Because you always have to be wary of him keeping it himself, especially in this part of the field. Because if he doesn't like what he sees, you know he'll take off and try and go for it himself.
So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Burrow looking to pass. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing again, it's Burrow. And he'll spot Higgins open left side. And they'll bring him down right at midfield, and he is well short of the first down. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Now 2nd and 9. Another run here with Dobbins.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Dobbins running out of the gun.
And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40.
112 yards rushing now for the ball game on 24 carries. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners as we say so long from Denver.